Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel. I hope that you're really enjoying the very first Mama Elephant Insta Hop, and I've used the stackable cuties to create this really fun little interactive card. So this is the tutorial to show you how to recreate that. So there's the little animals poking out behind the stack of cuties. I love this set. So I'm just going to create masks first and stamp them onto some full post-it notes. And then I've cut out all those masks and I've used them to stamp the animals into a triangle format like so. And now I'm just going to fussy cut out that as one piece because I want that as one whole piece on the front of the card. I'm going to use some watercolour cardstock to create my background piece, and I'm using Peacock Feathers and Mermaid Lagoon to do that. To get my ink onto the watercolour paper, I'm using a piece of acetate, and I'm going to sort of smoosh the inks on that acetate in a sort of a triangle shape. I wanted it to mimic the triangle shape of the animals, and then some of the other ink, and then spray it with some water, press my watercolour paper down, use a baby wipe to pick up any other bits that I didn't want there. And now I'm going to use some plastic wrap on my fingers to just get us some of that darker colour on the background piece. And I'm spraying it with water as well in between, just to move the ink around a little bit, just so that I can get a bit more of an exact placement of my colour. Now I'm going to splash it with some water and pick up the excess with a paper towel. And then I was happy with that background piece, and I just checked by putting my animals over the top. Now I'm going to create the mechanism, and I'm just making a triangle shape that's going to sit behind that stack of animals because the mechanism uses brads and you need something for the brads to sort of hold on to, if you like. So I just freehand cut a triangle. And then I just wanted to mark where the little animal heads had to sit on that triangle. Sort of close. I didn't have an exact idea, but I've cut some strips from card and I'm going to double those up so that the little pull tabs are quite strong. They just need a bit of strength and they need to be quite sturdy. And I'm starting by working out how it was all going to happen. I really just worked it out as I went along. So I'm marking on those strips where to cut them and also where to punch a hole for the brads to attach. So I'm just marking out with my pencil, and then I'm going to have another piece coming across that side, so just again marking the holes with my brads and cutting the lengths as I went. Just cut that strip down to how long it needs to be. So I'm just sort of positioning things as I go, and I was just working out as I went. I had the idea in my head and I knew it would probably work, but the actual mechanics of it I did have to just problem solve as I went along. So I'm just checking again that everything's hiding behind the animals and that it might be in the right place. And just putting that final strip of paper in. So some of these holes will be brads attaching the strips and some will be brads attaching to that back piece, and I'll show you which ones are which. So now it's time to punch the holes, so I'm just going ahead with my hole punch there. I'm punching those out where they need to go, and I did use smaller brads, tiny brads for this one, because I just didn't want the bulk of the bigger ones, but I don't think it really matters too much. So I'm just popping those brads in to where they need to go, and I forgot a hole here and there, so I just went back and punched that out, attaching the pieces as I went. You can mark or number the pieces if you want to, so you don't get confused as to which ones are which. And attaching that one as well. And then I'm just going to lie that piece down on the triangle and mark with my pencil where the anchor brads have to be placed. So I just need to create holes in the triangle piece to anchor that mechanism down. I'm just going to do that with my punch. And then I'm going to pop my brads in. Like so. And then another one at the top. And then the mechanism works just like that. So it sort of makes one animal go one way and one animal go the other way. And that's where they're going to go. They're going to go on those strips like so. So then it was just a matter of putting some 3D foam on and making sure that the mechanism still worked when that foam was in place. You might have to cut your strips a little bit at the bottom. And now I'm creating a little sort of sleeve, I guess you'd call it, out of thin paper, just to stop the bottom arm of the mechanism from wobbling around too much. So I'm just going to secure that, again, the back of that to that triangle piece, just so that it holds it in place a little bit better. And then it will work like so. Now it's time to put some 3D foam on and position everything so that the animals hide when they're back in. And I also use some of the word bubbles to cover up some of the overlap, I guess, if you call it, because I don't quite hide perfectly behind each other. So I'm just stamped out those little speech bubbles, which are so cute, and hand cut them out, fussy cut them. And now I'm popping them onto the card just in strategic places so that it helps hide the other animals. Just popping on the last one there. And I also coloured my bottom pull tab with some Copics just to match the green background you'll notice there. And I'm just sticking the whole thing down now to my base card. Just cut a little circle out of coordinating card, and just attaching that to the end of the pull tab. And then I just stamped a little pull here on the end. Now the whole thing can go on a base card, and I just decided to use craft card because I do love a bit of craft card, and then just adhere it all down. So that is the card. I hope you enjoyed it and that it might inspire you to give interactive cards a go, or some other ideas of how you might use this mechanism with some of your Mama Elephant stamps, and that you take a check out of the other InstaHop participants. I'll put them all down below. And thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.